Hi, I'm Ed Sobey from Kids Invent. Today we're making boomerangs. Boomerangs inspire awe and wonder. They immediately raise the question of how did that work? And I don't suggest trying to explain to students how it works because no one really understands it. But it's wonderful to get them thinking about it, the physics involved, and to be playing with the boomerangs and think about spin and lift and continue making models. Here's how to do the very simple cardboard boomerang. We cut 2 strips out of a cereal box or other piece of cardboard. The strip should be about an inch or a little bit less wide and about 10 or 11 inches long. And you can experiment with different lengths and different widths. Kids can also experiment by adding extra arms. I don't think they work quite as well, but the kids can fool us and come up with something really cute and novel. Once the strips are cut out and taped or hot glued, then we tune the boomerang, and that's raising the edges just like that. We want just a very slight bend in the arms of the boomerang. We're ready to go. To throw the boomerang, like all boomerangs, it has to be thrown vertically. I'm looking at the camera. I'm going to throw with my right hand. I'm turning to my right. I'm going to raise up, and now I'm going to use wrist and no arm to flick it, and boom, right back it comes. It takes a little practice to get that, and kids will take a little while to get lots of wrist and no arm. Once they get it and they can catch it, then encourage them to try different designs. For example, they can cut some of the excess material out and just have a wide end to each piece. They can add more pieces, they can make it bigger, they can make it smaller, they can try radically different designs. And if there's time and they want to move on to wood, paint paddles, the things that are given away at paint stores and hardware stores, make good wooden boomerangs, and also balsa wood is a wonderful material. Just have to shape it correctly, and we'll show in the instructions how to shape it. And then, of course, you need to be a little bit careful because getting hit with one of these is not a problem. Getting hit with one made of wood is a marginal problem that we would like to avoid. But introduce the boomerangs. Maybe you can do some reading about Australia, and you can debate whether these were ever used for hunting. They weren't, but lots of people think they were. You can have lots of good fun making rangs. We're making handocopters today. And one of the reasons to make handocopters is that if you understand how they fly, you understand lift. And it's a much easier way to understand how airplanes stay in the air than the traditional Bernoulli explanation. So we start with a strip of cardboard, and the width and length don't matter too much, but half, 3/4 of an inch wide and 10 to 11 inches long. You can cut these out in advance if you're concerned about time, or let the students cut them out, but then have them find the center. Interesting to watch people find the center and how they do it. A lot of kids will go get a ruler and measure it or draw lines. I try to balance it on my finger. Once they have the center marked, then they can use either a hole punch, or if you have a sharp awl or other tool, to poke a hole in that designation, and then stick in a straw. Fat straws make it a little bit easier just because they fit in your hand a little bit better. So now we've got the straw sticking up through that cardboard strip. This is a perfect place for hot glue, but unfortunately we don't have that here where we're doing the videotape. So I'm just going to tape this with masking tape. It doesn't work quite so well. If you don't tape it or glue it at all, the Handocopter will not work. So there we've got the helicopter, we've got the wings, and now I'm going to make 2 cuts on opposite sides. There's 1, 2, and now I go to the opposite side and make 1, 2 cuts over there. The first one is a winglet. And if you go out to the airport, you'll notice that all the new jets have winglets because they improve the efficiency of the airplane. They stop the air from exiting over the side of the wing. And now I'm going to bend down the outer part of the wing. This is the aileron. This is what Alexander Graham Bell invented with his partners when the Wright brothers prevented anybody from flying airplanes because they didn't want them using their patents up until World War I. So now I've got the ailerons bent down about 45-degree angle. If it's bent 90 degrees, it won't fly at all. It needs that lift, and we'll see what happens. Here is the leading edge. Here's the aileron on the trailing edge. I need to get the leading edge going in. That one flew off camera, and now I have to wait while we retrieve it. Sorry, I didn't anticipate that. Thank you. So we'll fly this now, and we'll see how it goes. Well, it didn't fly too badly. It did go off camera, and we can pull it right back. The challenge here is to get the helicopter, the Handocopter, to fly as high as possible. A couple things to note: that the angle, of course, on the ailerons, that you have to spin it so as it encounters an air molecule, the aileron pushes the air molecule down. That pushes the helicopter up. That's how flight occurs. Wings deflect air down. Equal and opposite reaction is to push wings up. We don't need nice Mr. Bernoulli to explain that. And you'll notice that a lot of times at the end of the flight of one of these, it will wobble around. That suggests that it needs more weight, and you can do that by taking half a straw or a full straw, jamming it in the bottom, and now we've got enough weight and it should fly better. So once you show this to kids and have them experiment, they can come up with their own way to make it fly higher and farther, and have them tell some stories about the invention of the helicopter, have them think some more about how it flies, and you'll have a wonderful day.